Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive deep. Today we're exploring holistic wellness with an episode from the Abundance Wellness Hub. Get ready for some serious insights.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, so one of the things that really stood out to me from this episode was their emphasis on the body as the foundation. It's like we hear that all the time, right? But they really break down why it matters in a way I haven't heard before.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about, eating your veggies and hitting the gym, although those are important. They talk about how our physical energy directly impacts our mental clarity, even our emotional state.
Totally. It's all interconnected. And they don't just skim the surface. They get into some interesting specifics, like biomagnetism. Have you heard much about that?
A little bit. It's not as common as, say, meditation or yoga, but basically it uses magnets.
To heal the body.
Well, it's more about balancing energy. According to the podcast, proponents of biomagnetism believe that placing magnets on specific points can help to restore the body's natural energy flow, and that can lead to a whole range of benefits, even detoxification.
Interesting. I'm going to have to look into that more. So we've talked about the body. What about the mind? How does the Abundance Wellness Hub approach mental wellness?
They're big on exploring alternative approaches. Therapy can be incredibly valuable, but they encourage listeners to think outside the box, too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like what are some of the alternatives they suggest?
Well, meditation is a big one, of course, but even with meditation, they have a unique spin.
Oh, how so?
They focus on what they call heart-centered meditation, which emphasizes cultivating feelings of love and compassion, not just quieting the mind.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it? They talk about how connecting with our hearts in this way can help us tap into a deeper sense of purpose and well-being. And then there's NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, which I find fascinating.
NLP. That rings a bell, but remind me.
Basically, it explores how our thoughts, language, and behaviors are all connected. And the podcast suggests NLP techniques can help us reprogram negative thought patterns to create more positive change.
So it's like rewiring your brain for the better.
Exactly. It's about taking control of our thoughts and using them to our advantage. They also touch on hypnotherapy, which taps into the subconscious mind for healing.
Right, like hypnosis. Interesting. I feel like we're just scratching the surface here. Are there any other mind-body practices they mention?
Oh, yeah. They also talk about some lesser-known practices like EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques.
I think I've heard of that. Isn't that the tapping thing?
Yes. You tap on specific meridian points on the body, and it's believed to help clear emotional blockages.
Oh, interesting.
And then they also mention access bars, which involves gentle touch to release limiting beliefs held in the subconscious. It sounds kind of out there, but the podcast guests had some really compelling things to say about it.
Wow. Who knew there were so many different approaches to mental well-being?
Right. And the best part is, you can find what works for you.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered the body and the mind. What about the more, shall we say, esoteric side of things? What did the Abundance Wellness Hub have to say about the spirit?
They're all about it. They talk about how important it is to feel connected to something bigger than ourselves, whether that's through spirituality, religion, or simply a sense of purpose.
And they seem open to exploring lots of different paths to get there.
Oh, yeah, totally. They mention everything from spiritual counseling and guided meditation to energy work. They even talk about something called constellation therapy, which I have to admit I had never even heard of before.
Constellation therapy, what in the world is that?
So it's kind of complex, but basically it's based on the idea that families are interconnected systems and that past traumas can be passed down through generations and impact our present well-being.
Whoa. So it's like family therapy, but on a deeper level.
Kind of. It's about uncovering hidden dynamics and finding resolution.
That's fascinating. Anything else?
They also talked about Reiki, which is a form of energy healing, and then there's chakra alignment, which focuses on balancing the body's energy centers. Have you ever tried any of that stuff?
I've done a little bit of meditation, but I have to admit, some of this is new to me.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. It really makes you realize how much there is to learn about holistic wellness.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing. It's about finding what resonates with you and taking a multifaceted approach.
I couldn't agree more.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about. Where do you think you'll go from here? Which of these practices are you most drawn to?
I'm really intrigued by this idea of heart-centered meditation. I love the idea of cultivating positive emotions, not just seeking stillness.
Me too. It's such a great reminder that wellness is about nurturing every aspect of ourselves, body, mind, and spirit. It's been awesome exploring all of this with you today.
Thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening, We hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore your own path to holistic wellness. What will you try next? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep diving deep, friends.